Today I'm going to show you how to fuck up an A7R. Well, hopefully I don't fuck it up. I've been using the A7R III for quite a while now, and this has been sitting collecting dust, so let's modify it. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to replace the UV cut filter with a clear ultraviolet filter that'll give us full spectrum. You can kind of see it on here. If I put it into my hands and hold this up to you, it is clear. Like, you can barely see that. Little tiny hands, so easy to work with. But anyway, I won't be able to work with these little tiny hands. I gotta use real hands. So, enough of that. I've converted a lot of cameras in my day. I do not recommend that you do this. I do love my black and white photography, and I want full spectrum to be able to do not only infrared, but 590 nanometer, which is kind of a colorized infrared. This video is for entertainment purposes only, and you should not try this at home. Now, the tools that I'm going to need for this are ice cube tray. And I use this silicone ice cube tray just to separate my screws so I know which one goes in each section. So, very easy there. And then the other thing that you're not going to need, because you're going to send the camera in, but what I need are all these tools right here. So this is a magnetic tray, and I've got some tweezers right here that are being magnetized, a pick if I need it, and then this is the main screwdriver that I'm going to use along with the secondary eye screwdriver. Why are these in the magnetic tray? Because I'm getting the tips magnetized, so it'll be easier to pull the screws out. I also apologize for the background noise, but I gotta have the AC going on full blast because it's hot AF outside. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive into this. I haven't seen anything as far as tearing this down. The one thing that I did find was a blog from Lens Rental when they tore this apart a couple of years ago, and that kind of gave me some insight as what I need to know. What we need to do is get in here and replace that glass right there. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as just opening this up and going in here. We have to go all the way through the back and pull the shutter all the way out to be able to change it, because there's a cage that sits over the sensor that's holding that glass on. So, not an easy lift out thing. Make sure there's no battery or card in it, and there isn't. Right here in that corner. So that's the first one I got to get to. I remember reading about that in the blog rentals thing, so might as well start with the hardest one first. Now, the battery door comes off right here just by this little lever on it. So you can just squeeze that, that pops off. That'll go in the back part of this tray. And then let me remove all these screws really quick. So I'll go ahead and do that everywhere. I gotta do this more under the camera. Tangled. Tangled up. Okay, there we go. Dang it. Kind of tricky to get off there, but there's the outer cage. Very interesting. So, I think I'm going to have to come in, that one can go back in the tray, to these on the bottom. These are the quarter 20 mount on the very bottom of this. Those will go up here. Alright. got some hair on there. Let me see here. This needs to come out, but I guess this metal frame has to be done first. This metal frame, when you look behind the screen, it looks like it's all attached. So let's hunt for invisible screws. Here's one over here. You'll think of this as the cage screw bin over here. And don't see. Oh, there's one all the way in the corner over here. So pull that one out. And I don't see any more. Let's go ahead and try to get this cage out. Ah. Actually, it lifts up fairly easy. Kind of stuck on something on this side of it. Next stop is this little ribbon cable. I don't know, I'm sure there's some Sony tech out there right now watching me going, he's gonna screw it up. And I don't want to prove him right. Ah, okay. Whew. So that is the ISO control dial button. I did kind of mar it a little bit, but it looks like it's okay. Yeah. Anyway, that stuff makes me nervous. Basically what that's doing right now is causing me a bunch of unwanted stress. This is why you don't do this shit at home. Okay, so there is the other ribbon cable, and this one looks like it has a little latchy doodad. You flip that up, and then carefully that little ribbon cable pops out. So there we go. Oh god, there's more ribbon cables everywhere. This does not excite me. Let's take a look at this little one right here. So this is the one that I was fighting with. Yeah. Thank God I got that one out okay. So, danger zone right here. Anyway, now I got to deal with this. So, before I do anything, we're going to want to remove this shielding, this plastic stuff. I don't know. Monkey paws. I hate my monkey paws. My hands are too damn big for this shit. I have a feeling this ribbon cable right here is running underneath this pad and it's sandwiched down on top of it. So I'm just guessing, but I'm thinking that that is going to be a bit of a nightmare. Oh yeah. Yep, that was sandwiched in there, so that rubber pad definitely had to come off. So that one we can stick to the top over here. If I was to try to remove this, I would have torn through that cable. That would have sucked. That would have been the worst. So anyway, let's flip that little booger up. There we go. Push that forward. Good Christ. People bitch when they have to get their cameras fixed. They don't realize the amount of stress it takes to tear these things apart. It's huge. Okay, got that one out. That is one very delicate cable. I bet you could tear that thing so easy. Okay, now we got that big rubber doohickey thing. We'll put that on the very back of our silicone thingy. Ooh, more coffee. Man, do I hate ribbon cables. And they are everywhere. Now, I actually didn't know what tools I would need for this, so I just put a barrage of stuff here on the table. Right now it really looks like I'm just using one screwdriver and a dental pick and some tweezers, and that's about it. Okay, so right here we've got a grounding plug, and I put my eyes back on. This, where it's plugged into the motherboard, right here, is actually just a push-on connector, and it just popped off. So that's pretty sweet. If you're wondering what I was talking about, it's right here, this little booger. This little wire was tacked down to that. Okay, let me take this out. More ribbon cables behind that. God damn, how many ribbon cables are there on this thing? I see. So the connectors for the microphone and headphone over here, that's what was hanging up on it. Now I got to remember that these control the back side of this board. Don't want to screw that up and get that wrong. So again, it has these little clips, popping those, and then a little rub and tug. Rub, rub, rub. Tug, tug, tug. Dear Sony, make these easier to take apart. Yeah, right. They're like, we're going to make it harder now because idiots like me are digging around inside this thing. Okay. So inside here, I see these two screws. That didn't sound jolly, but whatever. I really need a skinnier screwdriver to do this. But anyway, there. So now, does the top come off? How the hell does this thing come together? Feels like it should all just pop apart. There's always something you miss. And in this case, I don't know if I hold it up here, you can see this screw right here. That has to come out so the front of the grip can come off because there's probably something up there still holding the top of this on. The top of this has to come off to get this cage off. So literally you have to tear this whole thing apart to get it down. So anyway, that's why I had the screwdriver. I knew there was a reason for this damn thing, because it has to go through the handle here. Not my idea of a good time, and they just don't work well. At least it's unscrewing it Not a fan. Anyway, there we go. And that one can go its own little container area for the grip. Okay, now that gets the grip cover off, which is good. And, aha, there's that screw I was guessing it was going to be there, right here. And it can go in the same bin, because I know that's what has to happen. And now, can we remove that? Of course not, because this stuff is attached. How is it attached? So what I'm talking about is this stuff right here is attached to the top. I'm guessing because there is still one screw right there, that if I undo that screw, maybe I can lift all of this away as one giant component thingy. So let's just try that. So there's that screw. Now I'm going to go in slot number 5. Does that stuff kind of lift away? It kind of does. Allow me to lift the top away? Kind of won't. This? No. Okay, that pops off. Ah, there we go. Okay. Nothing like a little fiddling won't do you. So anyway, there you go. Lots more ribbon cables. So this is what it looks like internally in the top of an A7R. Okay, so there's the cage with the doors on it. Jesus. Alright, so we'll set that aside. And it looks like we are finally here. So here's our 1/4-20 mount for the bottom. These are the sensor screws. And this is tied down over here as well. All right. And there you have it. We're there! Oh my God. So I'm going to lay this face down for a second and just take a moment here and reflect and go, holy shit, that was work getting to that. That was not a good time. But anyway, now we gotta change the glass. Now these right here, this and these, those are focusing shims. Nidec Copal. That's interesting. But this is the Edward Scissorhand shutter, so now you know who makes it. Now it's time to change the glass, and this part of it, this little bit is going away. So this won't even be used. It'll be disconnected from there. Tricky little tab that is kind of looped around everything. Okay, so what I'm looking at here, this is a two-part filter, and I was not expecting this. So this has some of the hot mirror glass in here, and then there's more on top of the sensor. So if you can see that chunk of glass. So I think that is going to have to come off. This comes off no problem, but this one, This is a two-stage hot mirror. So this sits on top of that. I gotta get this off of here, and it looks like it's stuck down with an adhesive. So let's not screw this up. Wish me luck. All right. Alright, there's that hot mirror. Yeah, it's just adhesive. Doesn't look like there's any damage or anything. May leave that on there just to air seal it. There we go, people. We have full spectrum. I didn't get any dust stuck in there. And it looks like, if I look at it this way, looks like I have enough tension on it where there's not going to be any problems with it shifting or moving around. Or this cage that holds this in, this electrical connection is now going to be gone. And you know, just so you know, this electrical connection, I'm not really sure what this does, but every camera that I've ever converted has always had this attached to the hot mirror. I don't know if this is like some sort of electrostatic discharge thing that helps keep it clean or something. I don't know. I really don't know what that's for. So if somebody does know what this piece is for, leave me a comment. The more and more I think about it, I think it would be more of an anti-static kind of discharge thing, but I'm really not sure. But all I know is stuff's junk now. Okay, so before I do any more damage to this, let's get this back in the shutter. And we are going to leave, because we're going full spectrum, it should not change the focal distance, I don't think. Now watch, after I get it done, Kolari Vision will be like, oh yeah, no, it changes it, you need to put in these other shims. But no, I don't think it will. So, this sits on these little pegs. They're dropped in there. And now, it's time for reassembly, and then hopefully, this thing goes back together correctly. battery door. Screws back in there. They're both there. That one's there. Those are back in there. Alright, well I got one screw left over, so I'm not too concerned about it. Whatevers. Whatevers. Okay, so pop a battery in here. Pop a memory card in here. Now this memory card is kind of a piece of shit, but it may be able to make it through this. Let's turn it on. Oh my gosh. Okay, set area, date, and time. And Denver, Arizona. Okay, we're going to do that. Whoa, I can already tell it's weird. So, need to go put a lens on it. And it works. It works. VR successful, it works. So anyway, yeah, don't do this on your own. You know, shooting with this, that'll be the next video, is shooting with this thing. But you want to use Kolari Vision to do the conversion. You know, I'm really glad that I got it done, and I wanted to do this for you guys to see what it was like. And I also wanted to see what the A7R was like internally. Now, when the A7R 4 comes out, I'll upgrade to that camera when it does. So then the A7R 3 will be a candidate for doing something like this, and I will probably get that one converted. I'm not doing that one on my own. I will send that to these guys, because these guys have already done a few and it's not a big deal. This was not fun. But anyway, I'm going to take this outside. I'm going to start shooting it. So I'm going to do another video, a follow-up on this later on, so you guys can see what the results are like. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see images from this camera as soon as they come out. And otherwise, we'll see you guys in the next video. So subscribe to my channel for more information like this. Give me a like, leave me a comment. We'll talk to you guys later. See ya. Imagine a world where everything is purple and magenta and orange. Backyards in full spectrum.